Hello, everybody. Welcome to Amazing You podcast and YouTube channels, the channels where stories of resilience, triumph, and unwavering hope come to life. And in each episode, we dive into the inspiring journey of individuals who have faced the toughest challenges heads on and emerged victorious. Our aim is to be a beacon of inspiration, offering a guiding light to those navigating through difficult times. And whether today you are dealing with health challenges, professional setbacks, or personal struggles, this channel is dedicated to uplifting your spirit and showing you that even in the darkest moments, there is a path to hope and triumph. So join us, everyone, as we share powerful stories that transcend adversity, reminding you that resilience is a force within us all. So be prepared, everyone, to be inspired today and to find the strength to navigate life challenges. I am your host. My name is Dr. Rani Thanacoody. I am a clinical hypnotherapist using rapid transformational therapy method. I am a Mars, Venus, life and relationship coach, breathwork coach, astrologer, tarot reader, past life regression practitioner, and life force compassion practitioner. And today, I am very happy, very excited to introduce you all to a very special lady. Her name is Hilary W. Hilary is an executive coach, facilitator, strategist, and management consultant with over 30 years of experience across sectors. And as the founder and principal of WJ Consulting, she partners with the leadership and management of nonprofit organizations and mission-driven businesses to help them advance towards their own definitions of professional and organizational success more deeply, quickly, and sustainably so that they can grow on their own. Hilary holds an MBA degree from Harvard Business School and a BA degree in economics from Princeton University. She graduated from the Georgetown Leadership Coaching Program, and she is also a professional certified coach with the ICF-certified to administer several assessments. So very warm welcome, Hilary, to Amazing You.
Thank you so much, Rani, for that very kind introduction. And it's lovely to be here and to be invited to think about my own strengths and how amazing my journey is, because we often downplay some of the much of what we do and accomplish and the strengths that bring us forward.
Thank you, Hilary, for taking your time today to be here. And that is so true what you said, that we very often downplay our own achievements. Only when we hear it from somebody, that's when we realize, oh my God, these are all the things I've accomplished. That is so true. It happens to me too. So it is normal I think, to experience that. I think we realize it more when somebody is reading our bio. Yes. And
Right.
you have such an impressive career journey, Hilary. I
Thank
was
you.
reading that and I was so impressed, from Harvard to Princeton and to becoming an executive coach and also nonprofit leader. So what inspired you to take the path you are on today, Hilary?
Yeah, well, it certainly was not a linear path.
Mm.
I spent well over the first decade out of college doing conventional professional things that I was good at and rewarded for. And I got my source of satisfaction from being good at it, adding value in the corporate world, and getting to work with smart, interesting people on intellectually challenging things. But I'll say I was satisfied, not fulfilled. So it wasn't till I was a young mom that I got more restless And nothing against management consulting, but I got more restless and got tired of trying to be an expert in industries for each client and working really hard on analysis and recommendations that don't even get necessarily implemented. And the first step was just stepping away from the path that was pretty darn comfortable. And maybe parenthood and all that introduces to your life probably helped me open my eyes wider. And then it was 9/11, September 11th, the events of September 11th, that serendipitously led me to learn more about the nonprofit sector because I got together with a whole bunch of Harvard Business School alumni in my area, Washington, D.C. And we're like, what can we do? How can we give more, help more? No one needs pints of blood anymore. What are we going to do to help our community, our local community? And that's when I helped found a nonprofit called Compass Pro Bono, and we do pro bono management consulting. I'm still on that board, and we're becoming a national organization today. Anyway, so I learned about the social sector and the heroes that work there and mission-driven organizations. So that was a big pivot for me. And then the discovery of leadership coaching and the Georgetown program was serendipitous through my friends at that organization, Compass Pro Bono. And I realized that's what I want to do. I'm cut out not to manage and lead and build large teams, but to be a valuable co-pilot to sometimes one leader at a time, sometimes a team of managers or rising leaders. So discovering my own strengths and sense of purpose helped me make those tweaks. They weren't all proactive, like I had to be in the right place at the right time. And let me pause there because that's a long answer to your first question.
Thank you so much. There is so much to unpack in your answer. So, there's one thing that you mentioned that I think that would be great to clarify that for the audience because you mentioned you were satisfied but not fulfilled. What do you mean by being fulfilled?
Yes, some
Mhm.
people maybe figure this out earlier in their life than I did, but it means not just doing things that are valued and appreciated and rewarded by others, or doing things you're good at, or learning all things I love to do, getting better at new things. I was not sufficiently aligned with my most important values. So I guess the satisfaction is more diminished when it's just coming from external recognition and perhaps dependent on outcomes. Whereas when what I'm up to, focused on with my time and energy is living out my top values. It kind of doesn't, the outcome's less important. I don't need reassurance from others. And it just makes me feel so much fuller and worthy in my own eyes, I guess I'll say. So my identity story is more empowering that way. And those values for me include, and I'm no angel, I'm not trying to be better than the next person, but kindness and generosity,
Mhm.
and personal connection and also joy are very, very important to me. And so I like to bring them to the situations that I'm in. And I can do that in my work with nonprofit leaders.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that because knowing your values is so important. And so many of us, we don't know what our values are, whether it's in a personal relationship or in a job situation, you know? Why do you think it's so important to know our own values in today's world?
Yeah, in today's unpredictable, kind of
Mm,
messy world, there are many good values like courage, reliability, collaboration, creativity. These are all very different things. And first, I'll give, I guess, two or three part answer. It's overwhelming to try to be all those things.
mm,
It's just overwhelming. I can't be the most creative person in the room and the most reliable and courageous person in the room also. So it makes living life manageable, hopefully on a path to fulfillment. Um, the the other reason is you're just like a ship without a rudder. So you're going to be steered to the next conversation or the last conversation. You're going to be, perhaps we can be overly but temporarily and superficially influenced by the last person we talked to, um, who may care a lot about being courageous and bold and the value of risk taking. Well, that's not me. So it's like it's having a, having a rudder, having a stake in the ground. I'm best when I get to be me. And
Mhm.
that is shaped more by my values than anything else, because skills change.
That is so true. Yes. The values do change. And for anybody who is listening to you and they don't know what their values are, what would you like to tell them to help them to find out more about what their values are?
Oh, wonderful question. And I have two answers. One is there is a tool
Okay.
online, and don't mean this to be an advertisement because the version I'm recommending is free.
Mhm.
VIA Institute, it stands for Values in Action. VIA Institute has a free character strengths survey. It's brief and you get the results right away. And what they call character strengths are 24 values, and it kind of ranks them. You self-report, and then you decide if the responses look like, oh, that's not quite right, well, maybe that's just the mood you were in that day. But it gives you that some language, and it gives you some relative ranking to play with and refine on your own. So that's a simple way, and a manageable way. The other thing, I love strength based kinds of exercises where ask a few people who know you very well what they think drives you. Maybe you use the word values, maybe you don't. What do they think? Like what about you inspires them? What do they think is the fuel under your actions and contributions? And let those people who know you well fight back to you. You don't need a formal bio on a podcast to hear some of your greatest strengths.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing these two ways to find out. And one of them I did try. I did experience it when I was attending a leadership course, and we were asked to find people in our organization who really knows us quite well, and that
Yes.
and those people could comment, write a few words of what they think are our qualities, what is it they how do they find us, how do we do our job. So I've experienced that, and it's really interesting to look at the results, because then we can see whether the different people have similar views, similar ideas, similar qualities they come up. It's so interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Right. And sometimes the things most important to us are so central and internally rooted, we almost take them for granted.
Hmm.
Um, and maybe they come so easily to us, and other people are like, no, 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 you're a role model in that way, and we don't even know it.
Yes, that is so true. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Hilary. Hilary, you often help organizations move towards their own definitions of success. So, how do you, Hilary, personally define success?
Personally, not
Mm,
not the clients. Okay, thanks, Ronnie. Let me take a moment to be
okay.
thoughtful here.
Yeah.
Well, I currently have a mantra I try to say to myself, um, regularly, and it's to use my talents to bring more joy, connection, and possibility into the world. And I can do that in multiple spheres of my life, in my volunteer work, my professional life, and my friend network and family life. So I try to remember that when other things are bumpy, or I'm not getting the client as much client work as I want, or I'm not having the role or influence in a particular situation that I want on a nonprofit board where I serve. Well, if I am directionally bringing joy, connection, and possibility, then I am making the contribution I want to make. So that would be my definition of success. That's the 10,000-foot view. I'm not saying I'm completely dismissive of more tangible achievements. a month to month. And feeling that I'm broadening the perspectives and insights in the places I sit. So again, I'm on several nonprofit boards, and if I can make a decision-making process more informed by offering different perspectives, that's valuable. Or if I can help a rising nonprofit leader get out of their own way or see things in a way that opens up valuable possibilities. Those are the day-to-day opportunities that I really
Right.
value.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hilary, for illuminating us about that. And I am sure you know that resilience is a core theme for us at Amazing You. So how do you personally build and sustain resilience in your own life and work?
Right. I don't think there's really not one size fits all, and there's
Mm,
certainly not one small toolkit. So I'll mention some of the tools, tactics in my toolkit, and
yeah.
um, hopefully always adding more. In no particular order, one for me is just physically resetting when I'm not in a positive, constructive mindset. And physically resetting can be moving around, and it doesn't have to be athletic exercise, it can be just walking. It's a change of scenery. It can be just get out of the house, look at trees, look at the sky for even a few minutes. So those kinds of resets. Other people, you can use to any kind of um, physical, mindful rep that gets you out of your head. And I also am a big fan of small steps. So I don't believe that grandiose goals and grand strokes, those are things that happen rarely in our lives, or they don't happen quickly. It takes a lot of luck. So I'm always looking for small steps that feel rewarding just because it's momentum in the right direction. I just wrote a post on for my website on directional progress. And I just love the idea that the generosity of just being directionally um, progressing versus, oh, I missed a milestone, or that the precision of rigid milestones in this unpredictable world is can be discouraging or unrealistic. Other things I do, humor. It's one of my top 5 values, actually. And friends and everybody knows this about me. I don't try to make light of serious situations, but I know that when we take ourselves too seriously, even when we're doing very serious work, it doesn't bring out the best in us. There is a kind of lightness, and adults have not been encouraged to play enough. So a lightness, laughter, playing. I do improv. I started comedic improv many years ago, and I love the guidelines of improv because there are no mistakes. You're encouraged to be creative. You keep the stakes low. So humor and playful situations are really important to me. Last night I hosted a collage making workshop, something I have no experience with. We had a wonderful time, and I went to bed in a better mood than I woke up, that's for sure. More than a mood. I mean, it was a really wonderful experience, and everyone told the story about their collage.
Wow. Yes, it's always nice to do those kind of creative activities to keep us uplifted. Yes. Thank you so much, Hilary. And what one personal daily practice that helps you stay aligned with your purpose each day, Hilary?
I think I have a number of practices, but they're not all necessarily strictly daily.
Okay.
I would say the one that fuels me the most is
Mm,
intentionally making sure I have at least one meaningful connection and conversation with someone every day. Even in the days where I don't have meetings, beyond the emails, beyond the virtual work at my computer, one human conversation. And every once in a while I miss it. And I think those are not my best days.
thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And today, Hilary, if you could leave our listeners with one message about resilience, growth, or leadership, what would it be?
Let me choose one. I think I will say, I will focus on just remembering everything is along a spectrum. It's not just balancing uh, creativity and caution or balancing progress and detail. Everything is along a spectrum. And when we remember that, we don't get caught up in, am I enough? What is enough? What is right? Who is right or wrong? Who is better or worse? So when the flexibility and generosity of seeing the gradations of things, I think gives us space to say, okay, I want to be a little more of that or a little less of that, and staying curious and open where you want to be and go and where you currently are, and ditching any all or nothing types of judgment on yourself and others.
Thank you. I love that when you say staying curious and open and without having any judgment about others and ourselves, because we do have a lot of judgment that we have for our own self. You know, we judge ourselves so harshly and then we judge others. So I think that's
Right.
so important to be mindful of. And you also mentioned you mentioned something else at the
About,
beginning.
well, the balance of along a spectrum. I want to actually emphasize what you just said, Ronnie. If
Mm,
I were answering the question over, I might say self-understanding and self-trust. You're
mm-hmm,
right. Even people who don't we don't consider the most humble people we know, and maybe they're not visibly beating themselves up and self-judging, but
mm,
those fear-based thoughts, where we don't trust and empathize with ourselves enough, it's really hard to be your best for others if you're not being that with yourself. Be your own best friend. Yeah.
mm. Yes, thank you. Because we live with ourselves 24/7, you know. This is the only person that we have to live for the rest, for our whole life. It's us. Nobody is
Right.
there. And
Right.
we hear our thoughts, we will talk to ourselves. So we have to become our own best friend. Yeah.
It's so true. You can't walk out of the room and leave yourself. The thoughts
No.
come with you. So, right. We might as well make them a source of positivity, or at
Yes.
least constructive possibility. Yeah.
Yes, that's so true. Yes, thank you. And how can people today who are listening and watching connect with you or learn more about your work at WJ Consulting, Hilary?
Thank you for that question. And the best place to start is my website, which is www.wjconsulting.com. You can find my bio, the types of work I do, my quarterly newsletter, which I just send via email. Is are all the posts are there, and you can drop me an email. My email address is there. You can drop me an email if you want to get on the list and just get these quarterly insights, and you can read the prior ones. I especially enjoy connecting with top leaders, boards, and rising leaders in the social sector, so nonprofit sector and mission-driven businesses trying to make this world better. The world's social heroes need more support than they get.
That is absolutely true. Yes.
And I'm on LinkedIn too. Hilary with
Okay.
one L, Joel, Joel.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing your links. They will appear below, Hilary, and they will also appear on the video and in your bio for the podcast and the YouTube channels.
Thank you, Ronnie, so
You're,
much. And your very thoughtful questions that build build one on another on what I'm saying. You're a very good guide for that.
thank you so much. It took me a while, you know, it's just with practice. At the beginning, it was very hard for me to be able to bounce back with the guest.
Right.
I think it
Right.
comes with practice.
Yep.
They
That
say
is,
practice makes perfect, so it's a lot of practice. Yeah.
yeah. And that's a principle of improv, although I'm not trying to shoot for perfection, but yeah, what you're learning to listen and be so present to what I just said versus your list of questions that you may have prepared, and to be that tuned in is, it's improvising in the moment, right? And it's the best way to be with another person.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Thank you. And you do that as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's wonderful when we can do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really lovely how much time you put into just building this community and diverse voices that hopefully inspire more and more people. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your kind words. And I would like to wish you, Hilary, a lot of success. You are already
Thank
very
you.
successful. I would like to wish you continued success in everything that you do because you are
Thank
such
you.
a bright light and you have so much wisdom and knowledge. And if anybody wants to connect with you, please reach out to Hilary. She's an incredible lady with so many gifts and talents, and she can help you wherever you are on your business, with your business, on your journey as an entrepreneur or as a, if you have a non-profit business. So feel free to
Right.
reach out. Yeah.
Yes. It can be lonely building and leading something on your own. So we need co-pilots.
Yes, that's true. So thank you so much, Hilary, for taking the time today to be with the audience. And I would like to say huge thank you to the audience for watching, for sharing and subscribing. Thank you, everyone. Remember that you are amazing. You have always been amazing, and you always will be amazing. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Thank you, Ronnie.